Making this video for A bodies only. There's some guys on there that are helping me out in diagnosing my problem getting my new engine running. So thanks guys for your help. It's really awesome. I'm gonna go through your suggestions on this video and hopefully we can solve this problem and you can follow along with me. I want to tell you I have this little YouTube channel. I call it Okanagan Modified because I live in the Okanagan and I like to modify things. So as you can see, my car is non-matching numbers. It's not stock and I'm taking it a little further than original. And other projects that you're going to see me involved with are not factory vanilla restorations, but they're going to be, you know, higher performing things. And so that's sort of my interest. And go ahead and subscribe if you like. And let's go through what's going on here. It's been making a pop sound. It's not backfiring out of the carburetor. It's a sound that's coming, you know, somewhere around the collector H-pipe area. And I'm going to show you a little video clip of the sound occurring. So let me tell you a little bit about the engine here. It's a 360 LA block. It was probably from a truck, late 70s, and it's been punched out 60 over. It has a set of Keith Black 107 pistons in it that are flat top hypereutectic. I took the cylinder heads that are J heads. I added 202 valves to them. I did a bowl blend, a little bit of porting on them by hand. Cleaned up the exhaust ports, and I've gasket matched it to a Performer RPM Edelbrock intake, and I've topped it off with a Holley 750 double pumper. It was just a standard Holley 650 double pumper, and then it has the main body upgrade, and you know, I repainted the float bowls to make it look a little nicer. And it doesn't have a choke because that's part of the HP design. It has adjustable air bleeds and down leg drop boosters, a few little performance goodies. I have the MSD distributor on it and a Blaster 2 coil and hooker long tube ceramic coated headers going into an H pipe, and then 2.5 inch exhaust all the way to Flowmaster 40s, and then the factory style tips on the rear. The first thing I need to do is apologize to the people that are helping me diagnose this problem, because I forgot to mention something that's pretty important. So when I first put this engine in and fired it up, I did it with my Edelbrock 1406 carburetor. I had it set the way my other 360 was set, and I still had that pop sound sort of at idle and at lower RPMs. And when I switched over to my Holley 750 double pumper and tried tuning that one as well, it still had the same problem. So what I should have told you is that regardless of my carburetor choice, I've been having this problem. So I'm going to go through a lot of your suggestions. I've written them down, and let's sort of troubleshoot this one together. So Rusty Rat Rod says, you know, double check your firing order. So I've got 1843 6572 is my firing order, and I've checked the wires to make sure they're matching the plugs properly. A comment he made was that I'm too rich. The unburned fuel is, you know, what's exploding in the exhaust, and I really feel that's what's happening, is that, you know, unburned fuel is banging down the line. Inertia says I probably could have header leaks. I might be sucking exhaust in somewhere, and that's a comment lots of people have made. So having a look at this, I've got the really thick Remflex gaskets in there on my headers, and I've got the Remflex gasket in on my collectors, and everything is cinched up really tight, and I can't seem to find any leaks there, and I have not tried to put a rag in the exhaust pipes yet. SSG_carg asked me what type of fuel pump I have, and I should be looking for around 5 psi or less at my carburetor. And so that's a great suggestion. I don't have a fuel pressure gauge that I couldn't hook up to that line, but I'll try to get one. And here's a look at my fuel pump. It's just a mechanical fuel pump that looks just like a factory one. Maddox says I should check my fuel levels, and when I take my sight plugs off and I rock the car, my fuel is right at the bottom edge where I'm told it should be, and like I've preset those floats so that happens. And yeah, he suggests that I lean it off at idle, which I'm going to do, and that's a suggestion many of you had for me. And I got to check the primary fuel transfer slots and a few more settings on the carburetor as well. If you're new to watching my show, the whole idea is that I'm not a real mechanic. This is not my regular job. This is just a hobby, and I want to show you what regular people can do at home. And then yeah, there's going to be struggles. I'm going to make mistakes, and I don't pretend to know everything. And so if you enjoy that, then please keep watching. Old man Rick says I could have too much preload on my valves, and I hope not. I had a machine shop assemble these valves, and I paid like $1,500 worth of work on just my top end alone. So I really hope that the professional shop didn't screw something up like that. And Rick 70 Duster 340 thinks that I could have a leaky exhaust valve, and you know, I agree, those could be part of my problem here. I just hope that the machine shop did a really good job. And I did take my cylinder heads on my workbench, and I CC'd them myself with a little bit of alcohol and dye in them, and I didn't get any anything leaking out of them, you know, past the valves. And so I'm hoping that, you know, they did a good job sealing, and when I shined a light through them, I didn't see any light either. Demon Racer says double check your balancer, make sure the ring hasn't slipped, the outer ring portion. And I've really checked it, and when I had my engine apart, I put my balancer on and I lined up the marks on the balancer with my top dead center, and I've triple checked that, so I'm pretty confident that my balancer marks are accurate. But that's a really cool suggestion. Silent One says, you know, maybe I have crappy fuel, maybe there's water in fuel, and I purchased brand new 94 octane fuel, and I put it in, and it's not old fuel, it's all brand new fuel. So I'm hoping that that is not the case. Klein 383 suggested to me that I check my plug wires, and I used my multimeter, and I checked the resistance, and MSD says I should get 50 ohms per foot, and I got that on all of my ignition wires except for the number 5, which is about 6 times that value, and so that's concerning to me. The next thing is I use my laser temperature reader, and I shine the laser on each one of my exhaust headers right at the flange there, and number 5 cylinder was about 60 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than all of the other ones. So that is a clue as well. So you might be definitely onto something there. The funny thing is, I also test the spark on every single one of them with a spark plug tester, and that number 5 cylinder appears to be sparking every time regardless of those two facts. So I'm still going to go ahead and I'm going to make up another MSD wire. You can see I've already started that. So I'm going to swap out that number 5 ignition wire with a new one, so that my values of resistance are what they should be. And you know, maybe it's a process of elimination, and I got to get rid of that variable right now. Look at a spark plug that I just pulled out. You can see It's all black. It's got carbon deposits on it. These plugs are brand new. I just bought them. I ran the car for 20 minutes to break it in, and I've idled it a bit trying to get it running better, and I've taken it around the block twice. So they don't have much run time, and they're black. And just to tell you the gap that's on them, let's see what I've got here. I've got a 0.35 gap. So that's the factory recommended gap. I haven't extended them, which is something I've done in the past, but it's not something that I've done in this particular case. So I'm going to clean them up and stick them back in because they are brand new. And I've got your suggestions from everybody to switch to the Champion plug. And I really like that. And when I can get to the parts store, I'll buy some. And what I'll do is get the new ones with the smaller 5/8 on there, because these 13/16 are really tight to get in between the headers on the driver's side rear. So, 1 second. Try to get in here and see. So the cap and rotor look good. I used a little piece of Scotch-Brite just to make sure the terminals on the inside of the cap were nice and clean. The rotor looked good. And I don't see anything suspect. There's nothing loose, and the measurements where they should be. This banging, it's 30 degrees advanced at 1,000 RPM and it hasn't warmed up yet. So I'm going to take the RPM down and take the timing down as it's warming up a little bit. Just under 10, still hear it banging away a little bit there. I'll try to bring the timing down a little bit to see what happens. A little bit of a struggle there. Too far. Let's see where we're at.
I'm at about 7 or 8 degrees timing advance. I had to increase the idle speed a little bit because it wouldn't run. Trying to take it down a little more now. So that's 750 RPM idle, about 7 degrees advanced, still banging, and I'm about half a turn out on my idle mixture screws. My vacuum is about 10. Still getting the pop. I'm going to try going the other way up to about 18 and see how it goes.
Okay, I'm going to end this video right here because it's getting long, and I'm still getting the hesitation and pop. And it didn't matter what I had it right down to 5 degrees or right up to 30 degrees advanced. And you know, I leaned it out as much as I could, and you know, I had a fairly steady vacuum, usually around 10 on the other gauge, and not really sure what's going on. I did mention that I tried it with 2 different carburetors, and so I haven't taken my Holly off, flipped it upside down, and looked at that fuel transfer slot yet, like you guys have recommended. So I will do that, and I think I'm going to get hold of some of those Champion spark plugs and swap them out, because you know, maybe these plugs just aren't very good for what I'm trying here, and swapping plugs might be the answer. And so I won't know until I've tried that. So stay tuned. Keep sending me your really good advice. I'll keep trying it. And you know, this is proof that, you know, there's some fine-tuning, trial and error. You know, things don't always go according to plan, and that's part of the hobby. And you know, I hope that you follow along with me and that we get this thing out on some real action adventures here, and move on to some other cool projects too. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your advice.